Hello and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today's video might be late, just a precursor before starting. It's currently 3 o'clock in very wet Britain. Somewhere it's even snowing. But wish I could say that I saw snow, but actually I can. I just can't say I saw much of it. But oh well. Anyway, before we get fully into this video, if you do like this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications when you do subscribe so you never miss another upload from me. And now let's get into the final one of the series. It's a Soviet Union game, episode number 5. Videos on the channel will be Fridays now. There may be once every other while a Wednesday video, but you know, don't expect them is basically what I'm trying to say. If you get one, you get an extra video effectively. If you don't, with the normal scheduling is Fridays only, so just so you guys are aware, that's the schedule for this channel. Anyway, we are going to get into the Soviet Union here. Next week's video I'm probably going to film, hopefully tomorrow, to film it in advance for you guys, so I can have a couple of videos in storage, just to be prepared for that, because, you know, I was supposed to film this yesterday. I'm gonna be honest, I'm filming on Friday as it's supposed to be out in 2 hours. Supposed to film it yesterday, however, my vlog channel, the video I was filming for that, my phone decided to die on it, and yeah, so effectively I was having to edit clips together, and some footage had corrupted, and it was not a great time, I'll be honest, but in the end I managed to edit some clips together, got a video out. But obviously it was a day late because they're supposed to get their videos on Wednesdays now. So not ideal at the full spec of things, but made do with what I could. So gotta make sure this video gets out as close to time as possible. Also, I'm trying something new today, because normally I would have my mouse mat to have my mouse on, but I'm gonna be honest, recently it's been really irritating me, so today I've decided to abandon it, and just have my mouse straight onto my desk. So we'll see how it goes. It might not go well, it might go great, we'll see. If it doesn't go any better than it is, because it's got quite a bit of drag to it. There you go, that's better. Sorry, just my mouse has like a thing where you can up the speed or ability of it, something, I don't know, technical side of things that I don't have much of a clue about, so I've fixed that now, so it should be better, hopefully. But we're going to continue into the British Raj here, it looks like, which is always good. I think there will be a game at some point soon, another one on the Soviet Union, but this time going into a civil war, where I basically just build a bunch of railways, for the sake of building a bunch of railways, and yeah, just decide to go on with that path, which will happen at some point soon, because I think it'd be pretty funny, and just content wise, it's a bit of free content to make, so may as well make use of that. So that is indeed what I shall do. Not really sure what we're going to achieve with the Soviet Union in this final episode. I don't think we're going to crush the British because, well, it just doesn't seem likely, if I'm being completely honest. But we can certainly give it a go. Right, I need my mouse mat. My mouse is not performing well. Bear with me 1 second. Just gonna... There you go. Should be a little bit better now. Yeah, that's definitely better. Okay. Right. we are going to try something that possibly might be a little bit crazy, but we'll try it anyway. We're just going to pause the game here, and we're going to see if we can deal with Britain as a matter of priority. And by a matter of priority, I mean let's just take these 214 divisions that haven't really got anything else to do and just fly them into Dover, because I'm not bothered to deal with the British for the next 45 minutes. So let's do them now. Hopefully they should be surrendering pretty soon. We just basically need to take Dover, which we have now done. And then push further north in the UK to take even more territory as well. So there we go. Crack on here and begin to push north like so. Hopefully we can rout their troops here, because if we can get back before their troops, we can cause the beginning of the end for the British here in this save game, which would be nice to do. I forgot we did that last episode. It has been a week, I think, possibly. Yeah, that would add up. Yeah, a week. Since I've last been on Hearts of Iron 4, or in fact my PC. I've been on my Xbox just playing some nice FC26, and just playing as, well, first Chelsea, because they finished, okay, making up words now I guess. They fired their manager, well, not really fired, the manager agreed to part ways with the club, and then I decided to take on, like, the last couple, like yesterday I started a career mode with Leeds, with a bunch of icons, just for the sake of it, and it's probably one of the best career mode starts I've ever had. My just youth academy was on a different level. By the way, anyone who doesn't know FC26, I apologise. Anyone who does will know youth academies in the modern FC26 is just an absolute pain. But I managed to get a good one that had like 5 off start good players, so not too bad. And I got some good coaches and scouts and stuff, so very good game, that one. Anyway, we are playing Hearts of Iron 4, and we should focus on that. And I don't know why I'm saying we, because it's mainly me getting distracted with other games. But we are slowly, it's getting a lot slower here, pushing towards London. However, I can't help but notice we don't have much of what I would consider supply towards our UK territory that we own currently, which isn't great. I think we might need to call the Navy in. We could send, I'm not sending subs, like, there's all things I would do, that just seems counterintuitive. Send the capital ship, nope. Well, they're docked in Crimea, so they ain't getting out. I think we're gonna have to send the capital ship into Dover. This is an interesting idea. Well, let's get it going. This is certainly going to be an interesting one, because they're probably going to get intercepted pretty quickly, but we'll send them down anyway, with hope that they might actually give us some sort of influence into the region that might help us with supply, because the British will no longer have naval dominance, hopefully. not sure it's taken the desired effect quite yet. Let's have a little look at the region. We have no level of dominance. Brilliant. UK has... I mean, we can compete with France's. But there was absolutely no chance we're competing with the Royal Navy. No chance. Like, France is a stretch. It's getting worse of a stretch. But the UK is... They're going to have 1,000 in a minute or two's time. It would be impossible to even try and fight them at this point. How much do we have? Well, I said it was going to be impossible. I didn't realise how much we actually had. Bear with me 1 second. We're going to just go in and just do a little bit of convoy escorting. Convoy raiding would be the best one to do. Now we can begin to hopefully convoy raid them a little bit. Why is it saying we've got no accessible what is good? Huh? I'm honestly confused. We own territory though. Is it because we don't have supply? Or I don't actually know. Controlled by enemy. Well, yeah, I get that. But how do I... Oh, it's because France and... It's basically a naval corridor. So France and Britain have both sides of it. So we need to basically take down Portsmouth and Plymouth. Okay. Right, this isn't fun, but we'll get onto it. So we effectively need our troops to push at an enormously large rate up towards Plymouth and Portsmouth. We need more ships on an entirely new level that I don't think we've ever revealed before. I think the best option we've got is to just produce ships on a mass level. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be, battleships per se. I think we just mainly need to just have destroyers. Just release a bunch of destroyers into the world. And I think that might be our best option, to be fair. Yeah, Leningrad and Minsk class sounds like a fun idea. We'll do the design bureau. Sounds like a fun one. How many dockyards do we have? I'll put 10 on it. Okay. So they should be deploying pretty quickly. So we'll just deploy a bunch of destroyers, and then as soon as they get out, we'll just start sending them over to Britain, and just filling up naval supply zones, hopefully. But in the meantime, while working on that, we'll get a naval supply hub built. Or we won't, because apparently we can't do that. We'll just upgrade their naval base here in Sussex. That should hopefully be completing rather soon. Then we should be able to build that. Still quite not yet, but it'll complete rather soon, so that's good. We just have to keep building up the roads. I mean, the main thing I've got to say is the UK has the upper hand here, because it's obviously their territory and they've got supply, and we, well, have a lack of it, if I'm being honest. So let's try and catch them off guard. by doing the only logical thing that isn't logical and sending in the second batch of troops to head into Plymouth. This is just basically how many ports can we capture off the UK before we actually do something meaningful at this point. The answer is we're about to have 2, and we're still not doing too well. But hopefully the Plymouth one can open up and advance on to the British lines that will help us out, which it should do, because the British are obviously unaware, and either way the British have to pull troops out somewhere to come and defend against the Plymouth attack. So I'm presuming that they'll probably pull some troops off of the Dover offensive to go and help out in Plymouth. And if they do that, that will allow us then to push further towards London, which then will mean they have to pull back the troops to protect London, hence giving me territory up near Plymouth, hence I can advance a little bit more. So either way I'm winning here. I just need to make sure I don't push and overextend my lines, because that would be bad. In fact, that would be very bad. But as long as we can keep the majority of Plymouth here, which is what we're currently trying to do, we're trying to push down and take out the rest of, I'm going to say the peninsula. Not sure it is a peninsula, but we'll call it one. If we can take that, then we should be in a better position here to advance forward in 2 segments towards London, which would be quite nice. But who knows? We'll have a crack at it, but it's not guaranteed it'll work. It's more just hoping that it'll work at this point, because the amount of attacks that we're taking against Dover, we cannot sustain being in Dover at this point, because we will physically lose all our troops if we aren't able to push and take that naval base in London, the supply capital in London. If we can take that, I reckon we can win. If we fail to take that, which currently looks plausible because we've been pushed back to simply holding Dover, we lose Dover, we can forget about the UK invasion at this point. We need to hold Dover. There isn't really a choice about it. We also need to hold Plymouth, because 2 key naval bases that can help us out here. So I'm going to see if I can push over to Norwich and take a 3rd naval base. I mean, Portsmouth is not along the way, so may as well try that as well. But we'll try and push through here. And I reckon once we sort of look like we're on the verge of taking Portsmouth, I reckon the UK will have no choice but to pull troops off of the Dover offensive and push them on to the Plymouth one, which is actually going pretty well. As long as we keep advancing at some speed here, we should be alright. And obviously once the UK falls, and then we'll take France, that should be pretty easy. It'll then be that the British Raj will fall, because, well, the first part of that was British, and once Britain surrenders, all its dominions surrender as well, so 2 birds, 1 stone. Well, that's a saying anyway. Technically it won't be true, because we have to attack 2 countries in order to get the rest of them to surrender, so a bit more of a fight, but we'll get there. Hopefully in this video. Otherwise I'll continue this off camera, and just turn it into a fun game that I just decide to play in my free time. So we'll see. We'll take this division here, and I just want to have a little opening. Okay. Just wanted to see what was sort of there and just check out what we were sort of trying to push through in a sense. Mainly to figure out whether we can break their front line or whether it's, you know, well defended and we need to try and figure out a different way of getting around it, which we figured out now. It's very well surrounded, very well protected, and we should figure out a different way around it, which may or may not be launching everyone from Portsmouth fully forward to go and take as much as we physically can. In fact, I'm considering pushing up here in mass to see if we can push through the lines again, which we might actually be doing here. We were doing. We might do it again. We just need to adjust to them having even more troops now. What I would quite like them to do is move all their troops off the border of Dover over to Plymouth, halt our Plymouth offensive temporarily. We then push up another step towards London. They then realise they have to pull back from trying to defend what we're going to call the Plymouth beachhead. Push back over to Dover. We push out of Plymouth and they have to keep switching between the two. That's exactly what I want to happen, because then they'll be out of supply. They'll be very disorientated and they won't have the level of organisation that they need to have to be able to put up a solid defence. Okay, France is deciding to launch a naval invasion against Dover. Not something I expected, but something that can be dealt with. But we'll send a few more troops up here to see if we can crack out this way. And I think, could be wrong, but I feel like Portsmouth is possibly open. So I'm going to have a go. Well, I was wrong, but there is still a chance we can charge straight into Portsmouth. There's also a chance that's a bad idea. The answer is it's most certainly a bad idea, but we will continue to try anyway, because I feel we can get it at some point. We are hopefully going to take some more stuff here. I'm very worried about the French push on Dover, because we are losing a enormous amount of troops. Like we're losing on a heavy scale here. We need to tell the Plymouth boys to hurry up a little bit, because I'm not sure Dover's going to hold out for much longer. Yeah, it's not. Dover is not holding out for much longer. I know it's still got 189 divisions, but it's not looking good. What do I do here? Well, ideally I'd unite. That's... Well, we have lost Dover. That is a fact. We have now lost Dover in full. We will now move our troops over to Plymouth in hopes that we can hold that. But I need major amounts of new troops. Like, I need to completely deploy hundreds of troops here. So I'm going to take an unnormal amount of motorised and basically take them to Warsaw and go, we need troops. Right, let's just add as many as we physically can. Right, there we go. Deploy them once. Actually, we'll deploy them twice. That way we can have a lot more than we would have previously. We'll deploy them to Warsaw. and let's get them deploying. Because we need them out as quick as we possibly can get them. So we'll get them as fast as we physically can. We'll deploy both of them here. Now for the second one. And there we go. That is 418 divisions deployed and ready to go to fight in Britain. They have supply and they're ready to go. So let's get them over. Right, we'll put them back in Dover in order to take Dover back. This time it's probably about twice as many units as they had before. Right. We should be able to take Dover back pretty quickly here. I mean, I doubt they're going to put up much of a fight this time. With 418 divisions just piling in to take Dover, not much of a chance there. I mean, they'll probably hold off for quite a while, but in the end they will fall. If we strike now, they've only got 6 divisions on the border of the Dover offensive, and they've moved the rest over to Plymouth, which is exactly what we wanted to happen. We just didn't want to lose a bunch of troops in the process. So we push up here towards Newcastle on the Scottish border. We should be alright here to just go at full pace. Yep, there we go. How many troops have we lost? Because we're going to have lost well over 1 million at this point. Yeah, 1.79 mil. Not ideal. Not ideal in the slightest. Well, what we can do is try and make sure those losses weren't for nothing by taking even more territory. Which I'm sure the British was not prepared for, was another naval landing. Well, I said naval landing, we just teleported the troops in. Because naval landings just take too long. And I don't have time for that. So I just decided to teleport them in. And hopefully we can take territory off of the British here, which would be nice. But I fear the British are moving a lot more troops back to home. I fear I'm also right. Which for this one I don't exactly want to be right. I would like to be wrong and say the British are moving troops away from Britain, but it doesn't appear to be the case. I mean, it's going to get very difficult very quickly here, because we're going to run out of supply really fast. Problem is, they're just going to plan on a naval invasion. That's going to wipe my troops out. Not really sure where to go from here. Because Plymouth invasion's not looking great. If we continue to advance at the pace we are without supply, we're not going to get anywhere. I mean, we have got some limited levels of supply, which is good. It's better than we can say for the Dover offensive, which don't really know why the naval port is out of operation. No supply connection from capital. Oh, great. This is not fun. So we have no connection to our capital for supply. Because obviously this is under enemy control, and we can't get into Dover or Plymouth. Well, this is certainly not exactly fun, considering to advance any further up north we need supply, and it's not getting to us. So I don't really know what's going on in terms of the future of this idea of attacking Britain and dealing with the rest of them with Britain's surrender. because, you know, if we can't get supply, there's no point to carrying on. But then we need to carry on to take Britain out of the fight. Yeah. It's not an easy one, this. I mean, I'd like to say that we could get troops into here, but realistically we're going to need to gain some supply access from Germany here. I mean, I don't think we've got half a choice, but we can't because they're not playing ball. How lovely. How lovely of them. Does anyone want to give me any sort of access to allow my ships to have... Nope. Not even Ireland. I mean, I wasn't expecting it from Ireland. But, yeah. We're not in a great place. And that's the final episode of the series, pretty much wrapping up now. And we haven't exactly achieved much today, which I would like to achieve a little bit more than what we have. Ideally, I would like to finish the war, but that just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Which is unfortunate, but what can you do? But I will continue this off camera. As a game that I play. But hopefully I can win this at some point. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did like this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications when you do subscribe so you never miss another upload from me. And I hope to see you all next Friday for another video on the channel. Bye for now. Bye.